Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're jumping into a really fantastic alternative schooling book for parents. It's called Unschooling Book for Grades K-5, and it's all about raising curious, confident learners right from your own home. So, let's get into it.
So let me just start by asking you something. Does this sound familiar at all? You've got this amazing, bright kid who's just fascinated by everything. But then, somewhere in those first few years of school, you notice that spark kind of dimming a little.
If you're nodding along right now, I just want you to know you're definitely not alone. The book's author, Jerry Lane, puts it perfectly. She says that little voice inside you, that something that's telling you it might be time for a change, yeah, this book was written for exactly that feeling.
And that feeling, it leads to a much bigger question that, honestly, more and more parents are asking about our traditional K-5 education system. Is it really doing the best thing for our kids in the world we live in today?
You know, it's pretty wild when you think about it. Our school system, with the bells, the separate subjects, the rows of desks, it wasn't designed for creative 21st century thinkers. It was actually designed back in the Industrial Revolution to prepare people for factory work.
So it really shouldn't be a shock that so many parents are looking for different options in homeschooling. They see things like their 7-year-old Saya, who used to be obsessed with bugs, now she just wants to get her science worksheet done. Or 9-year-old Ethan, who used to love playing with numbers, now he gets stomach aches over timed math tests. It's that shift from a love of learning to just doing what you're told that has parents searching.
And that search often leads people to this idea of unschooling. I know. The word itself can sound a little, well, chaotic, right? But I promise you, it's probably not what you're picturing.
At its heart, it's really this simple. Unschooling is a child-led learning approach. It's about moving away from rigid, forced structures and instead leaning into the learning that naturally happens when a kid follows their own curiosity. Basically, you're swapping control for trust.
Okay, let's just bust some myths right now because this is so important. Unschooling is not chaos or neglect. It's incredibly intentional. It's not a free-for-all. It's a deep partnership between you and your child. And it's definitely not about falling behind. It's about honoring that every child learns on their own timeline. It's a really practical way to create flexible learning for young learners.
There's that wonderful quote from William Butler Yeats that the book shares, and it just hits the nail on the head. Education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. The goal isn't just to dump information in, it's to light that fire of curiosity that's already there.
But okay, I can hear you thinking it. This all sounds lovely, but can I really trust that process? Can kids actually learn what they need to know without a formal curriculum? That's the big hurdle, isn't it?
Well, think about how we all learn, really. It happens in a natural cycle. It starts with curiosity. Say, 6-year-old Leo looks up and asks, how do rainbows work? That question leads to exploration. Maybe you two find a prism and start playing with light. Then comes skill development. Suddenly he's motivated to learn how to read a chart about the light spectrum. And finally, integration. He connects that to what he sees in the sky. See? It's a natural, powerful flow. All right, let's just go there. The number one fear. But what if my kid just plays video games all day? The book encourages you to just look closer. When your child is deep in that game, they aren't just zoning out. They are problem solving, strategizing, managing resources, even following complex stories. It is learning. It just doesn't look like a worksheet.
And what about the big skills, like reading? The book shares this really reassuring fact. In many unschooling families, it is totally normal for a kid to learn to read at age 9 or even 10. And you know what? Because it happens when they are ready and motivated, it almost always leads to a genuine, lifelong love for books.
So if you're feeling a little intrigued by this, a little less worried, you might be asking yourself, okay, but how would I even begin a journey like this?
And here's the best part. This book isn't another rigid curriculum with a bunch of rules you have to follow. It's not a set of lessons. Think of it more as a companion a friend that's there to support your instincts and help you see the incredible learning that's already happening all around you.
And it is absolutely packed with practical unschooling tips for families. We're talking real, helpful stuff, like how to set up your home to invite curiosity, how you can actually track progress without tests and grades, using things like narrative assessment. It gives you the tools to bust that tired old socialization myth, and it shows you how to support everything from STEAM to literacy, all while handling the well-meaning questions from family and friends.
And I have to share this quote from the end of the book because it's just so powerful. The child in front of you is your curriculum. The world around you is your classroom. And you are enough. Just let that sink in for a second. It reframes everything, doesn't it?
So, if these ideas about child-led learning for preschool and elementary grades are sparking something for you, here's an invitation to just take one small, easy first step.
Look, this isn't about making some huge, scary change overnight. It's simply about opening the door to exploring a way of learning with your family that's built on trust, on real connection, and on, actual joy. And you can start exploring right now. You can learn more about the book Unschooling for Grades K-5, and even better, you can download a totally free printable learning journal that comes straight from the book. It's a great way to start seeing the learning that's already happening in your home.
I want to leave you with one final thought from the book, a quote from Henry Ford. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And really, that's what this is all about. This path starts with believing in your amazing kid, and maybe, just maybe, believing in yourself too. Thanks for joining this explainer.